Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. And this morning I'm going to read from Genesis 31:25 to 35 and comment on it. If you want to read comments I've written previously on other subjects, you can go to blogger.com, blogspot, and read what I've written. But I hope you will stop the video and open up your Bible to chapter 31 of Genesis, verse 25, and read along with me. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, with harp? Hast thou suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said unto Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew that not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent, into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then he went out of Leah's tent, entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. Having caught up with Jacob, Laban confronts him. Laban accuses Jacob of running off with his daughters like captives taken in war. He makes it sound like it would have been okay with their leaving. He would have thrown them a party. A tabret is a musical instrument. See the context, the same word is translated in some places as a timbrel. This is like a tambourine today. Jacob has denied Laban the privilege of kissing his children and grandchildren goodbye. Laban complains. Then while, excuse me, Jabin has denied the Laban the privilege of kissing his children and grandchildren goodbye. Laban complains. Then, while he admits that he has the power to hurt Jacob, presumably to kill him, take his goods, and return his daughters and grandchildren to his control, that the God of Jacob's father warned him not to do so, as we've seen. In verse 30, Laban brings up the accusation that Jacob has stolen his household gods, the images that Rachel had stolen, as per verse 19. These gods, these idols, as I noted before, were particular to Laban's family worship, and their theft was a great wrong done to him in the context of the culture of the ancient world. This is how degenerate the ancient world had become since the time of Noah. Worship, perhaps brought with his wife or children from the pre-flood world, perhaps. Um, Jacob replies, justifying his actions based on his fear of Laban and acknowledging the severity of the crime of stealing Laban's household gods and not knowing that it was Rachel who stole them, and promises that whomsoever stole them will die. He tells Laban that he tells Laban that anything he finds that belongs to him to take it. Laban does a search but cannot find the images. Rachel has hidden them in the equipment on which she sits, which belongs on her camel. She's sitting on that in the tent. She makes the excuse that she cannot get up because she's in her monthly period. The excuse is accepted, and of course, no one would have suspected that one of Laban's daughters stole the family images. A woman in the ancient world, when married, left her family worship, and that would mean the family images as well. She was to embrace fully the religion of her husband's family, although she had no part in its inheritance except through her eldest son. Rachel, like many Christians today, cannot let go of the idols in which they place their trust. It's interesting to note how God does not often punish his people as they deserve as he moves them along in his will. For instance, here the idolatry involved in household gods, clearly against everything that is pronounced to God's ministry of reconciling mankind to himself and creating a peculiar, special people for himself, does not result in Rachel's immediate destruction. Again, in other places where, although we know that God's plan was for one man and one woman to unite in matrimony for life, men create a culture where multiple wives flourish and concubines are not uncommon. And yet God focuses on his plan and not always on our sin as we think he should. Human beings are an unstable substance to work with, but God's ultimate will cannot be thwarted. We should not want to sin, but we should be grateful for his mercy in not giving us what our sin deserves. See Job 11:6 when Zophar unjustly accuses Job of sin, and then read Psalm 103, 6 to 18. And we'll pick it up with verse 36 next time. Thank you very much for watching.